Alright, a section here of people who love solution. People who have the time and the patience for solution. Alright, first thing I'm going to do on the side is play 2 video. Don't know how old them is. But I'm certain say at least one of them very old. So now, I'll play the video them and wanna tell me, especially man, how the video them make you feel. You see what I say? Still be honest, because at the end of tonight, at the part of that section there, at the end of that section there, we are go you know what me I get at. But still be honest and tell me initially how it make you feel.
Today it is my husband's funeral, which unfortunately I cannot make because obviously I am busy here in Tunisia. I would have loved to have gone. We were together for 17 years. Unfortunately for me, he did decide to die on the week I had planned to come on holiday, so I did make the decision not to go because, you know, I need a holiday at the end of the day, and my holiday is way more important than sitting in a church watching people cry. I would love to give him a good send-off, so I'm going to get absolutely drunk tonight with this new guy that I met, and I'm going to raise a glass for you, Jeremy, because you were an amazing husband, very rich. I can't wait to do the will reading when I'm home. I have made sure I'm going to be home in time to do the will reading because I would not miss that for the world, because obviously I am due to get a lot of money, and that's a very, very important thing to me. So I hope you have a good funeral stay, Jeremy. Love you. All good things have to come to an end.
Alright, so the second one at this.
My wife feel like it's a good idea to put her child father on child support when we don't need the money. You already see what they do to me. Why you want to put him through that?
Because I need his money.
Need the money for what, kids? What you need the money for?
Stuff that I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to, like, go on a vacation and stuff like that. Like, it's stuff that I need. So, like, he needs to pay me something. Give me something.
You do know that child support is not for you, right?
Technically, it is.
Because she herself a pitney too. But them type of idiot I know usually can't see it. Anyway, continue.
Please explain to me how child support is for you.
I need the money to make sure I'm good and make sure my baby good.
Okay, but we don't need the money. Your baby's good. I take care of you and your kids.
Okay, but I still want his money at the end of the day.
For what though? What you need it for?
Why are you so upset about it though? He ain't hurting, I don't think.
It ain't about him hurting, it's the principle. You see what it's doing to me? I'm on child support for my other kids. Yet I still take care of you and yours. Okay. So what you need his money for? You trying to do that to another man? The same going on with me.
You a better man.
And by better man, she really mean idiot. Cause them type of immature picnic are stuck in a big people body. They usually respect maturity and structure. Anyway, continue.
It don't matter, kid. What you mean? I'm a better man. You about to put this through the same stuff you put me.
As he should. He deserve it. And I need to make sure that my hair and everything stay done. Simple. So now what? You gonna keep defending him?
It ain't that I'm defending
Keep on. You gonna be next.
Oh, that's how you feel.
Well.
Oh, it's just how you get that.
Bex bad, alright? Girl want a big stone. I agree with you. Or no, 100% your feelings valid. Anyway, who me tell you say videos like them are some big rat trap, and you wait anger and draw out at the rat. Who set the trap? You're right. That's an ABC question. Very easy. The system. I have some sad news. Usually when you think about the system, what you think about the Illuminati, the elite, the 1%, the few people who control the many. Alright? You have sad news. You know who are the system now? Most people. The average person in and out of the street, the regular Joe, are the biggest security guard them for the system where you can think of now. Remember back in Africa with the slave them, I catch a slave them. It don't say a play out now, but you just can't see it. because you have to think deeper, you have to go big. You have to go beneath the surface and realize it. All McDonald do him always I do. Pay people to send out them own. Just like in the days of physical slavery. I hate them do when them monetize YouTube and the whole platform them. Almost everybody chew to a cause until they figure out them price and pay them. But tell you already, so no matter what kind of ism you see people ball about. Racism, dishonesty, feminism. A capitalism is a real ism. The rest of ism them a dolly house, man. Just some big picnic. I live play life. Alright, remember back in the day of TV, yeah man, the system, aka all McDonald, TV and radio then. And when we can't see a way out of that fear there, we stop on it and wait for your answer. And the more we obsess with these things we don't give you for fear and I seek an answer, and the more money they make. Remember that? Most never even know that. But now that they monetize YouTube and will it more platform, it now turn regular people in the same old McDonald because of the same thing them I do now. If you have to post video, you have to make money off of them video, they have to give people more and more the narrative them what they want. So I'm going to give people things where they're emotional about, we're going to solicit an emotional reaction. And this is how they will keep the audience coming back for more. Because the angrier people is the more them seek out only information we can support how them feel. And that them idea. And you have to share it too, because it express how you feel, whether directly or indirectly. They might exploit your pain for profit, and you can't see it. And the more share, the more views, give them more motivation, to give more right, more away I see. All of them have to make it. Yeah man. What do you think these people do? They might make video like them deliberately, you know. And most people are consuming them things that it's real. This is a real life on camera, but them don't know it's a Jerry Springer world. Nothing not as real as one to think. When real situation like them, we get people interest. Now happen fast enough. Them start make them. And because the average viewer always in an emotional state. Them can't tell or not even care if you tell if a video real or fake. Plus you have the part of the problem where enough people find comfort in a not only them video, but every kind of video with a negative narrative. We express something where they want to be true. And when nothing no go so cause them want an excuse for fail. Them now have the responsibility, the maturity for really put in a work where it take for have a real relationship. Every time you ask them for that kind of maturity there, they must show you one video like them. Them feel as long as them can prove them point over and over, them now have to fix it. Yeah man, the same thing enough black people do it. They hate me because I'm black. Same thing with, is it because I'm a woman? Men hate women. Women hate men. And the video maker them just observe and give them more what they want. So they're stuck in that problem there. And they can't get a break everywhere them look. It's like an invasion it there everywhere. So it end up all bigger than what it actually is in reality. Yeah man, it's $1 billion industry of victim creation right now. When people want to feel like them right, then just go off of that narrative there. I'm ready to show a word. And it keep the industry there going. And the argument and the conflict there can't done. And as such, the money where they make off of the people, them ignorance to the game where I play, can't done either. And the divide between man and woman just to stay alive because it's a trend. It's a trend. Nobody now want to focus on nothing else. They want to win the argument here. They want to win the argument, so everybody just stay sending around these things. React every time something like it drop. And we don't realize it. Them fake. Enough of them. Fake. And regular people are control the narrative. Now I don't see CNN and CSNBC again, man. Them left in like dust. Regular people are now the deceivers, the manipulators, the controllers of the narrative. narrative. The narrative of this war, I sell them, I push it more. And you, I take a bait. And here's another instance where we think about the idea and not the process. Because enough I don't think when I fight against depopulation. And as you said, this conflict between man and woman where we self-take and promote and push on, I gotta be one of the biggest contributors to depopulation. Because the girl is not attractive again. Because the amount of this so we are seeing and just keep seeing and can't stop seeing. It's like it in our mind. It's just invasion. It's like it's so severe. The impression where it get. We're stuck. So enough man know, I said, boy, them are not with no woman. No serious way. Enough woman know, I said, them are not with no man. No serious way. And I said the depopulation, that the eventual depopulation. The contribution then to depopulation. You don't see it happen. You don't see trick when you caught up, Fucking idiots, literally. Fuck you no want, fuck you no get. Conflict you no want, conflict you no get. And people just make money off of your reaction, exploit how you feel, exploit your feelings, destroying a relationship. If you make money off of it and can't see it. Which husband got take up a phone? Video him wife. I said she want her baby father money and this, and I still want him child support because I want my ear and my nails and red. That stupidness there. To I make man watch that him I go react. Them know see that cause a great reaction. Them will make food. And we say, she don't put her face in it. Nobody no member by next week. For them family and friends, I say, I see the skit, and people think it real, Exactly. Fuel to the fire. For eat them one food. Enough of them talk show you wanna see with all these well-poised people looking into the camera and I'm going like, I'm so serious and I'm confronting these girls and I'm talking, I'm so serious and red and this, you're that. Then pay them. Then pay them girl if you go make a fool of themselves, then pay them, them tell them what them all tell them. Them tell them what them all cuss them say and how them feel react. Because them all make a profit. Them surely will get back them investment. When them pay these girls to come in, come act like them are the biggest dummy. I'm not saying everything we wanna see fake, No fight, more side. By now, fake. If you get the same reaction out of if you make money. And the sad part is everything we now watch addicted to YouTube. From video to video to video to video, think of information. And that we now learn things and then also blind like a bat. Blind, completely blind to what reality is because of information overdose. Some people think, oh my God, we don't have access to information and them can't trick we again. Tired for telling you. This is the worst age for information ever in the history of mankind. And most people can't see that. Because if you don't have not, you see the amount of video out there, if you don't have time to process each of them, where you learn from them. If you don't have time to process the information, useless. Completely useless. You may prove that. I'm going to deal with something tonight where if you don't see what I talk about and how easily it is to be led and I depend upon that person, you have to be truthful. When I depend upon the information, you only hear it one time and you say a real talk. Why? Because you don't have time to go investigate and research it for yourself, to confirm if it is indeed true. Alright, what may I talk about? So what only that Jamaica suffer bad? Politicians are beaten up bad from all sides. Them beating a go, them beating a come. I don't know why I run away foreign. I totally understand. But who tell them say the key to America they are Oberman yard? When you go on a Oberman go make them rubbing up with all manner of evil. Only two dons, man. Only two dons. Now follow big win, boy. A foreign man wang go. Remember me telling you how long past stir it up say if you are idiot in Jamaica are the same idiot you are that foreign. Yeah, brother, cause see him, so a girl munchie but she apply for visa and go up on the people in farm. And when she see sex, instead of she put the F for female, she go talk about whole heap of time and that she right on the farm. Real enough you don't you? Couldn't agree more. And even if you don't, them willing to help you go right through the farm. So call Lewis Law now, call the number up on the screen. So me understanding up like me understanding the situation. By all means run away. But not tell Lewis Law say me say for run away because they not support them something there. If you tell Lewis Law say me say for run away, me go deny it. Say thanks vice back. Alright, do remember, say if you ship anything at all to the Caribbean, or even within the US, you have to use Next Shipping. You might log on to www.shipwithnext.com. Believe me. Let me tell you this. No, I know one of them shipping company, they were more deep in your barrel and them out of sardine. Your peanut butter, them safe. I remember says a hassle-free service. Once you ship with them, whatever you ship comes straight to your door. Or the people them door. Well, if you're not on the door, them ship door too. So thanks vice box. I'm gonna prove just one more time how people don't really have time, so them cannot know what is actually true. 98% of it can't say truth because we don't have time for it. I'm going to prove it that way. Alright, so and a brother I know named Billy Carson what talk about now. Very prominent, billions of views on YouTube. Just make a fool of not only himself but millions of people across the world. Well, billions of people across the world who support him work. How him do that? Before I answer that, for those who don't know him, you might ask, who is Billy Carson? One of the smartest men alive, according to him.
Guess what, guys? I'm one of the foremost world leader in the knowledge on ancient texts and tablets, scriptures, papyruses, and cylinders.
Billy is the founder and CEO of a media company named Forbidden Knowledge, Inc. Yeah, man, we produce whole heap of content about spirituality, ancient wisdom, and esoteric knowledge, etc., etc. Yeah, similar to the brother we named Terrence Howard, you know that actor there. Yeah, we claim to have esoteric knowledge. In other words, knowledge about certain things when nobody know have. Alright, so Billy recently agreed for debate a brother named Wes Huff, a Christian theologian, a specialist in biblical manuscripts. Alright, so in a debate, Billy Carson present 4 most famous arguments them. And Wes Huff, dismantle each and every one. The first one being that one.
And in my videos, and if you listen to the podcast, the statement is according to the Sinai Bible, okay? According to the Sinai Bible, Jesus wasn't crucified in that Bible. That Bible predates the King James Version of the Bible. And the text there actually is about 12 to 14,000 differences between the Sinai Bible and the King James Version of the Bible, which came much later.
If you don't know nothing about the Bible and manuscript and them they might think say, you might tempt it for things say, what Billy say so make some sense. It means that Jesus never get crucified. That mind-blowing. That crazy. Except there is only one problem. Everything what Billy just say is completely false, as is proven by Wes, who go on to say this.
When you say the Sinai Bible, what are you referring to specifically?
It's the biblical text that was written. It made it into you can actually look it up on Amazon. It's a Bible called, I have a version at home. It's called the Sinai Bible, right? From Mount Sinai. I'm assuming that's the mountain that they're referencing there. But they put together their own version of the biblical text prior to the King James Version being put out.
Sure. So when you refer to the Sinai Bible, would you be referring to Codex Sinaiticus, like the codex that comes? Okay.
All right, so I'm actually going to look up the Sinai Bible on Amazon. No result for the Sinai Bible. What come up is that thing named Codex Sinaiticus. So why, Billy, I call the Codex Sinaiticus the Sinai Bible? Usually the one that come to your mind first, I write one. It is quite possible say I pretend say I have some great secret knowledge and I hope say nobody no figure it out. Him just a say baiting because I know say you yourself now go look it up. Anyway, nobody now go really research this. Alright, I could go further into it. I remember it's a summary. You can go watch the full debate on yourself.
So I work with manuscripts in my linguistic work. I'm an expert on early Christian scribal culture, and particularly in Greek and Coptic manuscripts. I have a facsimile. So I have a photocopy that was done by the British Library of Codex Sinaiticus that I work with in my office. So I have it here, and the Codex Sinaiticus in particular is just it's a 4th century Greek manuscript. Mm-hmm. It comes from approximately between 325 and 350 AD, and its text of the Gospels reads almost identical to the modern Greek text that we develop translations from. When you say that it denies the crucifixion or that the crucifixion isn't there, I mean, I can go on right now, Codex Sinaiticus, and I can look up the end of, say, Matthew 27, where it has Jesus being crucified, and that's in Codex Sinaiticus, or, the John 19, or any of the other ones. So actually, are you able to pull up a website with the viewers or listeners or whatever be able to see that?
Right now to make sure I have the right the version that I'm looking at.
And the wickedest thing, nothing what Billy say. Now have no basis. Absolutely. Literally zero basis in a reality. And he might try digging himself out of it further and further. By suggesting, say, there is another, maybe let me speak. It's a different version. Alright, see it. Alright, it get worse.
I found the text where I was referencing, actually, I was misquoted. I misquoted there. It's the Gospel of Barnabas.
The problem is that him actually never misspeak or misspoke. Because on a podcast with Andrew Schultz, him clearly said the same thing in the very same way him say it in a debate.
I give you one big translation that's off is they say, Jesus was crucified.
Whoa.
Well, that doesn't exist in the Sinai Bible.
What happened?
It doesn't exist in the book of Barnabas.
How you say you misquote? And that you meant to say at the book of Barnabas when you always married them two concepts there. So how all of a sudden one of them just turn out to be a misquote? And you say that way like forever. In every interview. And on your own platform. Is it possible to say him just flat out that tell lie? What about the book of Barnabas? Is he at least right about that? Make a look.
The Gospel of Barnabas is a really interesting document because it is a known forgery. It shows no actual indication of evidence of coming from or even having knowledge of first century Jewish understanding. And I think a bigger problem is that the Gospel of Barnabas actually paraphrases Dante's Inferno. Never mind the fact that we don't have any evidence of it prior to the 14th century and none in any other language other than Middle Age Italian Italian and Spanish. It's a known forgery. I mean, no one's referring to the Gospel of Barnabas as anything other than...
If you say it's a known forgery in but I'm going to go with that. Let's talk about the Old Testament a little bit.
What? What? If you say it's a known forgery, and you're an expert, I'm going to go with that. I think you're an expert.
If you say it's a known forgery in but I'm going to go with that.
I think you are one of the foremost world leader on that topic, yeah. Alright, if we kind of summarize again, so far, Billy conceded one, that the Sinai Bible don't teach where it teach, and two, that the Gospel of Barnabas, where my cite as him source, is a forgery. But it get even worse. Yeah man, him draw for the book of Jesus' wife. Another thing, we consistently always talk about with conviction. Yeah man, this is 100% proven. And then I try to change the subject, but that this happened.
If you say it's a known forgery in but I'm going to go with that. Let's talk about the Old Testament a little bit and leading up into the New.
Well, hold on, because do you mind if I address the Gospel of Jesus' wife?
Sure, go ahead.
What was her name?
Yeah,
I'm like trying to write notes like I know what I'm doing, but I'm just curious.
So the Gospel of Jesus' wife doesn't actually mention. So oftentimes what happens is that the text of the Gospel of Jesus' wife is kind of paralleled with the Gospel of Philip, which mentions that that Jesus would kiss Mary Magdalene on the mouth. The reason we know it's also not legitimate is because we can tie it directly to not copying from an ancient text, but actually copying from an online version of the Gospel of Thomas in a PDF form. And the mistake on that PDF form was copied into the text that was borrowed in the phraseology of Jesus' wife. I don't know anybody in the field of papyrology, paleography, historiography who actually refers to these documents as being legitimate.
That's fair enough. I can respect that. So let's go into the Old Testament a little bit.
Wait, what? What Billy just said, that's fair enough, I can respect that. Absolutely no pushback, just complete acceptance. I will always say, the man built an entire career of a complete lie, because I know nobody not challenge him, nobody not gonna look up these things. So him just say, be a thing where make sense. I just hope that nobody wouldn't call him out to him face. Because the truth is, how this always work. You see that feedback loop, there were people, you say them are the greatest, them are genius, them are this, them are that, they make that draw them out sometime, and sometimes they start believe that shit, you know. And just one of them man that will hear a portion of things, because most of when me hear that brother you talk are things that me hear from me youth, you know. None of them things are an original thing where I just film thing, you know. Take the whole of these things over the years. Can't of them thing put over film little thing where him build now and taught them like a theme gospel. This is how him figure out, and nothing goes so me know that for a fact. Okay, I'm there about 15 years now. Yeah man, him just a regurgitate. That's what people do. Him hear it, it make common sense. Him start talking, people start resonate, tell him say him smart and him are the greatest thing, and bam, him caught in a trap. And then further go out to ensnare other people and trap them too. Because them not have no time. Like him never have no time to see if these things are true or not. Him take these theories and just run with them, and people them just eat them up and receive them as truth, gospel truth, and go debate other people like this happen all the time, yeah. And them never look into it yet. But them know the truth, you know. And them ready to go to war for that truth, then. Yeah, man, then I remember Pastor stir it up. I think 5 or 6 one of them. When I tell the Christians that Jesus did have girl and one bag of thing. Because in my common sense, that makes sense. Even before, years before Carson, years before, me hear nobody else say so. Me I say that it makes sense. But that never say true. Because me never get nothing to concretely prove. Me never go in the Middle East, or me never go study them things myself. I just common sense to me. But that don't mean that true, and it don't mean that lie. But people love talk things about the past. In a way like them video it. But like me always say, if you want to know the past, and you want to know the future, the best thing to do is look on the present. You don't need to go nowhere else. Because according to Ecclesiastics, who don't know already, who don't know, there is nothing new under the sun. All is vanity and vexation of spirit. That is one big repetitive cycle. But we just want to feel that there is something new, something different. When the underlying characteristics of the war in heaven between light and darkness are the same. The war in the consciousness of mankind are the same. And the choices to choose which side lead to the same outcome no matter what.
Are you a person under 30 with a bachelor's degree, with at least 3 years of work experience, who needs to migrate to Canada in pursuit of better opportunities, but are totally ignorant of the other ways of getting permanent residency, outside of, marrying your cousin or paying that ugly person that makes your skin crawl to kiss you in the wedding pics to make it appear real? Well, not to worry. Renaissance Immigration will save you from committing migration suicide. Call now at 437-703-1147 or 1148. Or visit us in person at 30 Via Renzo Drive, Richmond Hill, Ontario, Canada, postal code L1Z0B3. Or online at www.renaissanceimmigration.ca. We are so confident in our services, by the time we're through, you may be the one trying to kidnap us. We're so good at what we do, I think we should be worried.
Because impossible no means it's true, Or because a man attack, when no found one man attack him mind. You know exactly in his mind, if you know when left out when him attack, if you know if everything him attack. The stupidest argument ever hear in our life. Most of the time, people not attack their mind, them attack your mind. Where you want to hear. Them attack feeling wickedness and corruption. Don't answer that. I mean, I say nothing what Billy say. I'm not true, I say the Christian not possibly can wrong to, But Billy not talk like nothing what him say can possibly wrong, like in an evidence. He just has to say back things when him hear and repeat it. And just because it sounds smart and convincing, some people just run with it without research, just like what him do. We don't know nothing, but we think we know. The man is a sociopathic liar. But it get worse. So now I'm finally able to make the argument where him did I try and make about the Old Testament. After I lose every other argument where I try and make. Billy starts said the book of Genesis, it come off of some other ancient texts, such as the Enumi Elish. Yes, Genesis is a word for word copy of the Enumi Elish. Yes, the Babylonian Enuma Elish.
So let's go into the Old Testament a little bit. Predominantly, from my research, I discovered that a lot of information from the Enuma Elish and the 7 tablets of creation is a lot of the, in Genesis, a lot of the creation story that comes into Genesis. Not all of it, but because obviously it's a smaller, Genesis is a much smaller version of a much bigger story. But it's literally almost word for word from the Enuma Elish.
Well, all right, we hurry along and we get to the point, like I know most people like to do. Him explain a portion of thing about that Enuma Elish record there and how it close to the Genesis. And see a bag of thing about alien and, you know, them come engage the hominid race where they already there, then enslave them, forget gold and go back on them planet. And of course, on other platforms, including Female, him talk this with passion, talk this with conviction, certainty. Him knows he has so it go, you can't tell him nothing. And unfortunately for him, this was not word for word in the book of Genesis. And Wes did have to make him know that. All right, so I'm going to continue.
I'm just curious, when you say that there are not just parallels, but there's actual copying, looking at Genesis chapter 1 and 2, where the creation story is summarized in the Bible, what are the actual kind of parallels there that you're looking to? Because as someone who's read both, I not only do I not find parallels, I actually, and this is the majority of ancient Near Eastern scholarship with me, think that Genesis chapter 1 is actually unapologetic against documents like the Enuma Elish. So what are the parallels there?
Separated the waters from the waters, for example. That's in the Enuma Elish, and that's also in the biblical text.
Okay, that I would agree is a parallel.
Notice Billy moved the goalpost. Remember, said Billy originally said that Genesis is a copy, a word for word copy of the Enuma Elish. But now remember, say them 1 and 2 sentences separate the water from the water, and the earth was void, and that him did that. Completely change the argument. And then West point out that to him.
I would say, just with all due respect, the parallels linguistically are not there. There might be superficial kind of concepts that are there, but they're so superficial that we can find them in everything.
Yeah, but I don't agree with that. I just see if I have all these texts out, there's a lot of different information that you can see. There's a lot of it's been copied word for word into the biblical text.
But what's the word for word?
A lot of it, and not all right, like we said previously. So it now becomes a lot of it. Let's try to get him. To tell him what I mean by word for word, and him not seem to hear what the man asks him, and just switch this, just change the subject.
In your version of what you believe in, you keep saying that God's a he.
Yeah.
And so where do you get that from?
So why Billy never answer West's question? Because him can't answer it. Why him completely change the topic again? Could it be that when him confronted by somebody who actually know what they talk about, the most say him is not actually the foremost world leader from biblical texts, etc. And you know what's sad about this? Is that the presenter and most of the viewers are prisoners of the ego. The worst state and condition for living in. Because even when most of these listeners come realize, so wait, we not right, then find an excuse to still back this, you know. If still back the foolishness and back him to, you know. But I not him them a back. And himself because them can't wrong. Just like how him can't wrong. As you can see how him deal with the aftermath of discovering saying no know when thinking no. Yeah man. You see brother where you sit alongside him right show. A brother there him line up the debate, you know, with the Christian, you know. Because him believe in a Billy. And he must have Billy got demolish the Christian. In terms of discussing the views and in believing a Billy. And when the debate done and Billy embarrassed, him and Billy all are threatened to sue God in man yard. Was it 2 or 3 o'clock at night? I issue out cease and desist. The podcast cannot go out. The man make all a 3-hour ad video. I talk about a madness like this.
Now I see what's going on. This is an actual setup because every time he would come back and start talking dogmatically and talking all this garbage, he would then pick up his cup and do this and give a smirk. So I saw Dan at that moment. I realized, oh, this is a contrived setup video to make me look like I'm some type of dummy and I don't know what I'm talking about. So they can go bragging to all their Christian buddies and friends in their cult and, oh, he didn't know the answer to these 2 questions. Not really. This is bullcrap. This is, and I said, Mark, this is garbage, man. What you guys, this is a setup. This is ridiculous. Every time I have something to say, he's disconnecting. Man, I can see him literally disconnecting his video manually. And only one time I got to ask a couple of questions. I could see him on his screen on ChatGPT trying to look for the answer real quick, and he gives some roundabout, ridiculous answer when it came to some of the tablets.
It's a setup. If you watch the full video, you realize everything did free flowing. Nobody now do not know that way. Go watch the whole video for yourself. You see no heated debate, or nobody now make him talk, or I use ChatGPT. I him me say I use phone in that video. Him just lose and embarrass and cannot say him wrong. Stop to think about how stupid the concept that is. Me can't wrong. What wrong with wrong? But yet everybody believe again. Nobody is perfect. But this is how them react when them found being imperfect. Yeah man, so most people start to them lose half of him and the feedback they really negative against him. Hey man, and this was him come back. And this him say about those people who disappointed in him. Him do what people like him always do. You know what I mean? If you get into the average person, remind them same rich because of that stupid people worship. Remind them same of material things. Mention vanity at any point, any chance I can get. Anyway, listen to him, class them.
Because a lot of these people are just ignorant, poor people. You know, they're just poor people. I'm not a Joe Schmo 9-to-5 worker bee, and these people are just poor dummies. You know, what can you do? I make more money than rappers. I might have bumbled the Barnabas text for the Sinai text or whatever. It doesn't really matter. What matters is I never got a chance to answer any questions or get my voice heard.
You know what's sad? When it's a liar, you have to remember you lie them. When you tell the truth, you don't have to remember nothing. You didn't say that? When you tell the truth, you don't have to remember nothing. Because here when the man comes one at the time, you know, when he realizes it'll look wicked on him.
You know, I'm not an expert in biblical text. I don't pretend to be. You happen to stumble into one of the world's foremost experts on biblical texts.
Watch your whole thing for yourself and research. But these are the typical person. These are 95% of people, whether them bright or them dunce. You see this thing, we're caught up in this idea. Say, what we need to learn the outside of we, and we have to just run it down and seek information. Everything already inside of we, you know. The inner man, you know. It's in there already, you know, but we're distracted from that self because we're programmed for hate it, programmed for no one be alone. With a vice they can guide we. We hate it. We don't hate nothing like that inner person there. Out the door, look for everything on YouTube, and we have to know this, or we're not gonna know it if we're not. No, not go so. You have to be still. That inner compass there. We will lose it because we disconnect from nature. Babylon, everything with them program we to see and civilize. Make we the complete opposite. Make we into nothing, the majority of it. Nothing but wild animal. Wild animal. But even what we see as the lowest animal have more intelligence than we. Because we're not intelligent enough to find the inner self. We don't want to follow that objective common sense there. Yeah man, everything out the door. I'm telling you again, outside the spirit of the mind is like a hard drive. More time we occupy our mind, I think about be waste things. We not no space left for the solution to none of them problems that we caught up on and I want to let go. We have to practice to live without that system here, you know. And that Gideon we are come with you think about, you know. You can survive without them same thing you want to cuss. Don't answer that too quick, you know. Them deliberately do these things so you can distract it from the things that you truly think about. How to be independent of them system. Freedom come only when you can completely independent of them system. Man in them original state used to know how the rain go fall, you know. The way we did in tune with nature, you know. We have to let go all of this and reconnect to nature and trust nature to lead we. We think we higher than dog. Look, if you don't see dog just go in the wilderness and know which bush to eat as medicine. And who tell him? The inner dog. No concern with nothing outside of that connection there with nature. We lose it. And if we're going to have no kind of relationship with anybody, we're going to last at any level. We're going to last. We have to make the reconnection there. And we have to take ourselves off of the treadmill of ignorance and foolishness and the perpetual cycle of trying to use problem, solve, problem. That place where we serve a devil named the ego. It comes first, no matter how stupid its directions are. We will never find peace till we tune out and be the one in authority. Man was made to have dominion over the animals through spiritual intelligence. And we lose that something there. And until we reestablish our connection with nature, we'll go forever a suffer. And that me think.
Early locks the voice box, tell me what you think. Broke it down in detail, make me know the link. Early locks the voice box, tell me what you think right now.